why I believe an Australian medical care has a problem. Before I explain too much details, I want to clarify that the intent of this video is to share a very or a significantly complex experience I have had, and um, and this is not to create hate against this medical care system. And I am describing a very specific context. um, I'm relating to some of my experiences, which may not be representative of all people's experiences. So so as a like a friendly, I guess, warning is that what I will describe in this video is not expert medical advice. I do not consider myself a medical expert, but I do have experiences I want to share that people may not be aware of, um, and I want to explain why I respectfully disagree with how those experiences were handled. So it's more, I guess, and this is more of an experience share, and maybe a potential start for better conversations, or to help progress better change in how we how we execute and maintain these kinds of systems. And part of not wanting to encourage hate, I will intentionally not mention specific, personal identifying information in this video, because I don't need to describe that much detail, and I don't want to want to encourage any hate, or too much negative emotional reactions against specific people, or myself either. So I would try to describe, or I would try to communicate in this video in the least unbiased way. So kind of, in summary, this video is not expert medical advice, and this my experience may not be unrepresentative of most people, because maybe I am still in a minority of people with very specific challenges. So yes, just to make that clear. So now I want to describe at least one of the experiences that I disliked, and to be clear, I am not referring to all of the Australian Medicare. I mean all of the Australian medical care system. It is more just relating to the places I have visited, and my experiences with them. And I have not been to all of the medical clinics in Australia, just closer to where I live. So even what I share may not represent the experience of all Australians, but they are still experiences that I was unfortunate to have. But yes, that's probably all of the clarification I wanted to say before starting this talk. So 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 to help focus this discussion more now, I believe the problem I have is how this system seems to handle mental health. And to be clear, what happened was that there was one time when I did visit a clinic, and I booked an appointment to speak with a general practitioner. And I have not I mean, this was my first appointment with this specific individual. And I and at that time, I believed I was not fit for work, because I was experiencing extreme exhaustion, and I needed a break from my full-time job to help me to relax and to recover my health. And when I tried to describe that to that general practitioner that day, and partly because of what they observed of me, they believed, it seemed like they were concerned enough that they eventually called some hospital, and they arranged for two hospital staff to pick me up and take me there for a psychiatry assessment. And at the time, I felt surprised. That was one of the emotions, because I was not expecting such a very hasty decision. That seems like that would have a big, or can have a big impact on my life. And I did repeatedly ask those people, because they are taking me to the hospital, am I going to lose my job? And I also I also tried to explain to the GP that that I believe for me, it would be sufficient for me to return to my home and to rest. But they did not seem to believe that. So instead, what the what so to try and clearly communicate why I believe this was a problem, is because it seemed like I was not given much choice about how to support my own health. And these people who likely do not completely understand me as a person, and people who don't communicate with me enough, or don't have enough curiosity to understand what are my challenges and difficulties in my life, seem to make a very quick judgment, and I believe a very incorrect judgment about what I was experiencing that day. And they seem to believe that I may have or I was in a state of mind that I may have wanted to hurt myself, or to hurt people around me. And when they asked me, do I want to hurt people, I said no. And that day I did not hurt any person at all. but the GP seems convinced that I might have been lying. So 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 I at that time I did cooperate with those people because if they did not know any better, then 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 cooperating through that process may be the quickest way for me to return to my home. But so so I answered all of their questions. The ambulance people pierced my finger and extracted some blood to check if I had any alcohol or like any high sugar levels. And I don't know if they wanted to check my sugar levels. I just recall that the one comment from one of the ambulance people. They said, "Oh, your sugar levels are like 5.4 or something. That means I'm unlikely to be diabetic." But I may have briefly heard that they were trying to confirm what my alcohol level was, and they used their machines to try to measure my blood pressure as well. And people asked me questions. They took down notes, and when I was dropped at the hospital, I had to wait for some more time for the staff there to confirm my identity. And then I was left there, and then eventually I met with a psychiatrist who asked me questions. And for some odd reason, the way these people communicated with me, they seemed convinced that I had some kind of depression, and they were almost speaking in a very very suggestive way, like, "Oh, I was exhausted that day because I was depressed, or because or I am struggling to have motivation because I am depressed." And I respectfully disagree with that incorrect judgment, because I was just simply so exhausted that the extreme exhaustion can appear like their supposed understanding of depression on the surface. And I respectfully disagree with the idea that you can understand who a person is just by observing the surface of their skin. I believe one reason why neurodivergent people or the autistic community, like one reason why we have challenges is because they are deeply related to the human brain, and the human brain often has very very invisible experiences from other people's perspective, and brain activity typically does not manifest on people's skin. So these people were judging me, just and seem to assume that just because I displayed extreme exhaustion, they seem to believe I might have, or they seem to believe I had depression with the intent to harm myself or harm other people. And they even asked me those questions. And at one point the GP asked me, am I smoking drugs, or like am I smoking marijuana? And I said no, which was also truthful. And then when I was at the hospital, one reason why I wanted to have that psychiatrist assessment was I wanted them to produce evidence of whether I had depression or not. And after the conversation that I had with them, they never really confirmed it. and they gave me very vague answers when I asked, can you confirm for me, do I have depression or not? So that creates another concern for me, because that suggests that they are not wanting to help my mental health enough, or they or I can't trust them that they have the qualifications to easily understand who I am from a glance, and just from what I said during that one day. And that all seems like very hasty, judgmental type sort of decisions. The only like one small part of that experience that I did value was that after I had communicated that I prefer to return to my home to rest. They actually did let me leave the hospital that same day, and I did return home. But the agreements was they would send people to check up on me in my home, and they would call me as well, just to see, or to learn what my mental health state was or had become after that day. And they clearly communicated to me, and I agreed with them at that time, that if they believe that my home is not improving my health, then they may take action. For example, taking me back to the hospital. Um, so so one reason why I have a problem with this specific process was, this turned out that this became a false alarm, or a false positive, which means that they had incorrectly like their initial assessments of me, or their initial concerns was incorrect, which seemed to lead to my very early discharge from the hospital. And to be clear, I believe this is the kind of hospital that they keep people who they believe have mental health issues so great that they have to lock them up there to try and keep the general population safe. That was my understanding at that time. Um, so so eventually I was let out from the hospital, and I did return home, and I was able to recover my health very independently. But the experience, the experience I had does not really inspire confidence, because what that experience taught me was that if these authorities decide that I am some kind of danger to society, then they will take away my control, and they will and from what I understood, and based on my interactions that day, they could easily take away my future, because they are saying that, and their justification would be, oh, we are doing this because we care, which is one comment I received from a GP in the clinic. Or they might say something like, oh, we are doing this to protect the safety of most people. Um, and to be clear, this is one of those complex situations that I am not saying that I know what the perfect answer is, but I am more expressing that I had an experience that I did not like, and I prefer some kind of some kind of improvement to how this process works. But one of the problems I had was that this taught me that these authorities were not willing to like 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 it vaguely seems like they weren't listening to me enough, and that they were willing to use power to try and completely change my future if they perceived me as some kind of threat. And this kind of thing seems to generate feelings of fear, and I respectfully disagree with using fear as a motivator, because what also, like, more problems that happen with fear is that there can be decline in trust, and a decline in empathy and various other things too. And very relatedly, what this experience has now taught me is that now I am much less comfortable going to this clinic to ask for help, because I do not trust that that they won't just send me to the hospital just because they believe I might hurt someone. So but I tried my best to be unbiased. So I later did was I booked an appointment with a GP in that same clinic, and I tried to ask them very clear questions about how we could maybe find some kinds of mutual agreements. And what I learned was not very fortunate for me. The long story short version was that they said that there is no guarantee that any of my future efforts in that clinic will prevent their people from calling, or like no efforts from me can prevent them from calling the hospital to take me away. And I did ask questions before that, like to help build safety and trust between me and the workers of that clinic. Would it be helpful if I visited more regularly to share mental health status updates? And they quickly agreed. But then through further questions and from what I learned, it seemed like eventually it reached that point when they did clearly say there is no guarantee that my continued visits will help. And I asked them questions just to help me understand their perspective. But I asked questions like, on the day when I was sent to the hospital, what was the thought process behind that GP? So, for example, did they not check my history or any notes relating to my previous visits at that clinic with the other doctors or the other GPs? And I asked questions like if I were to in future consume more of my time to build some kind of relationship with a single GP, is the information about my mental health like checks going to build up, is that going to be captured and noted so that other other GPs and other workers can be more aware of um, my mental health? And because my intent was to try and give them evidence and to help build their trust in me, that I have a very I feel confident that I very much have a stable mental health. And sometimes I just struggle more than other moments in my life, and I just need more time to manage my mental health. But never in my life do I believe that my mental health challenges are so dramatically so dramatically require me to be sent to a mental health hospital, just to be locked up and like and like separated from people. And the GP and I believe the psychiatrist also asked me questions like, what is my living situation? And I did honestly say that I live alone. And they seem to consider that as a concern. And at one point when I was in the ambulance, I did describe that I identify as the extremely rare introvert brain type, and that I thrive in very socially isolated environments, including my home. And I did say that being in my home is where I am most happy. Um, but even at the end of my visit to that hospital, the psychiatrist still seems convinced that I am highly suspected to have some kind of depression. And when I asked for clear confirmation whether they can prove to me that I have depression or not, they did not seem to be able to prove that. So I don't know why exactly, but I would have greatly appreciated that. Um I am the kind of person who is more likely to believe anything if there is sufficient evidence that can support that specific idea or thought or concept. And this psychiatrist just did not give me much evidence. They only claimed that they believe I have depression. And when I asked them, can you give me a qualified diagnosis for autism and ADHD, so that I can have more confirmation about what I have and don't have? They also hesitated to offer me that, and they only explained that, oh, the kinds of diagnosis that we do is just to understand how to manage the people in this kind of hospital. So they seemed like they were saying that that their psychological tests only go to the extent of how to determine whether people should be staying in that hospital. So that was less helpful to me than I would have preferred. But so and that's one reason why I experienced less trust in that psychiatrist, because those interactions suggest that they may not be a qualified psychiatrist, or that they don't seem to know how to explain concisely, like how they assessed my brain, and why that assessment was chosen, or chosen, or decided in that way, like what was the reasoning. And one reason why I like evidence, because similar to a great science, um, great evidence is typically unbiased. Great evidence can be reproducible, and great evidence can be tested and proven wrong. So 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 those elements combined can greatly support whether anything is true or not. But I don't want to talk too much about science. That is just more a mindset that I value. But back to this whole experience. And before I forget, I suddenly recall. This is one reason why I I stopped seeking help from psychologists and therapists, because I do not trust those people to help me. And I don't know if this is related to the medical care system, but this is related enough, and I do want to talk about this before I forget. But to kind of briefly summarize my experience with these psychologists is, I did seek help from several psychologists, because I was experiencing very high amounts of stress in my life, in my younger like life. So for example, when I was experiencing school, high school, university, I experienced very high stress and very high pressure from multiple sources, and because of those stresses, I would experience the very violent, or autistic meltdowns. And my biological mother, expressing much concern about that, decided to organize for me to visit psychologists to seek help to manage those emotions. And there was a part of me that genuinely wanted to learn of ways that I might be able to easily control my emotions. Um, but then I did not realize for a long time that in secret, my biological mother actually organized these psychologists to help me practice my verbal communication skills. And I was not aware of that until much later. But so that might be one reason that contributed to psychologist experiences that were not as helpful to me, because I was engaging with these sessions believing that this was to help me to control my anger, when instead the psychologists were trying to help, or trying to make me talk more, and to make me communicate more. What but what did happen was, because I was not clearly communicated the truth, about the intent of these psychology sessions, that there became a repeating pattern in how I reacted to these psychologists. So after engaging in at least roughly between five to 10 sessions with each psychologist that I met, I would eventually stop seeing them because it seemed like they weren't really trying to help me manage anger, and they seemed like they were trying to waste my time, and they seemed like they wanted me to maintain my problems, and I personally believe that that is very unethical, and also not very respectful of why I'm came to those people for help, because if I have a problem, my preference is to have the quickest and most effective solution, not to talk about my problem and just let me wait weeks, or let me wait some unknown time before I can sense any kinds of meaningful progress. And I also very clearly recall, there was one psychologist that I met that um, that that like all of my visits with my other psychologists, I would describe very openly and very honestly what my life challenges were, and what help I was seeking. So and this was multiple years before now, so I may have forgotten some of the details, but I believe I did say something like, I was experiencing much stress from university, or just from life in general. I have so many pressures on me. It Yeah, it seems to create lots of anger. I have meltdowns. I had very deep concerns about my future. I was very concerned about my future financial stability, because clearly my biological family was struggling to earn money to support the family. I did not have a job at that time, and I was taught by my biological family that all of my future hopes and dreams depend on the on my academic success, and I was consistently failing and struggling in both school and in my university, and I did not know who to ask for help. And when I did ask for help, the help was either ambiguous, or not helpful enough, or the help was waiting for me to receive approval from my psychologist. What they recommend would be helpful to me. So there were lots of stresses I was experiencing at the time, and that there was no clear answer for what I wanted to do with my life, and it seemed like I was experiencing so many failures, and I wasn't receiving the support and the help that I needed. So I also felt frustrated, and various other emotions at that time, because it seemed like there were so many things not in my control that I could really that my life was just less unfortunate. But the I might be going too much on a tangent now, but the main reason why I raised this experience with the psychologists is that there are some similarities between that and what I am describing with this medical clinic. So I believe that the pattern, or the similarity is that I have experienced very low trust, partly because when I approached these people for help, either the help that they offered was not sufficient enough, or that they did not seem to really want to help me in ways that I would consent to. So I stopped trusting the psychologists, and I stopped seeking their help. And this is kind of what I was taught by this experience with this medical clinic I am describing. So I arrived to request a medical certificate for a significant amount of time, and they instantly judged me and believed that I was experiencing some kind of depression that may lead to me hurting myself, or lead to me I'm hurting other people. They asked me several questions. They tried to call the emergency contacts that was recorded for my profile, and they eventually decided that the best, or the safest option was to send me to the hospital. Um, so 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 even though they seem to discharge me both quickly and cautiously, um, the problem I have with the experience is it is slightly challenging to describe, because it's it 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 may not seem like a problem on the surface, but I experienced a decline in trust, because I came to these people for help. They exercised authority, and took away some of my control. And when they asked me, what do I want to do now, I said I wanted to, like when I was speaking very early with the GP, I said I wanted to return to my home so I can rest, so I can eat food, so I can drink water, and all of those things. And they expressed concern that I might harm myself, because I live alone, and they believe I show symptoms of depression, and that they were almost trying very hard to suggest that I did have all of those problems. And I respectfully disagree that I do have depression. I believe I just coincidentally experience very high exhaustion at times, because I either motivate myself too hard to work, or I some days I just don't capture the right balance with how to manage my daily time and my daily energy. So sometimes I might overcommit, and I might experience fatigue without realizing it, or I experience signs of fatigue, but they are either dismissed, or just not noticed because I'm working so hard. And then that fatigue, or those problems grow until I might be unfit to just function as a human in specific ways. And um um and so and and so that experience kind of created a sense of fear, and what this reinforced, and what this medical clinic experience reinforced for me, is that as a neurodivergent, potentially a minority person, I cannot depend on other people for help, because when I try to ask for help, they turn around and take away my control, and either do not give me choice and control. Like, don't give me enough choice and control in my life to help me find ways to independently manage my own challenges. So so because of the way, because that is the communication I receive through these specific interactions. And whether these people realize it or not, they have now created a bigger problem, because now I am much less likely to visit this clinic to share my mental health updates, and they are less likely to learn more about me, and they are probably going to be even more confused about what kinds of person I am truly am. So this also seems to be one of those times when maybe they had good intents, but the execution was so poor, it completely destroyed anything that the intent tried to achieve. So that's my main problem. And also I observed in that clinic as well, the way the people communicated seemed very hierarchical. And I say this as somebody with more knowledge now than when I was younger about leadership. And my guess, I could be mistaken, and if somebody can prove me wrong, I welcome very solid explanations and very solid evidence. But based on my observations in the clinic that day when I was sent to the hospital, the way that those workers behaved in a very hierarchical way. So when they did not have the answers for something, they would rush to their superiors, or they would rush to their upper management for answers. And they would try to shift responsibility to someone else, so that they don't have to decide what happens to me. And to me, just observing that, it kind of made me like less comfortable with those people, because they also seem to clearly express they don't trust me, and they are willing to take away my control, and they are willing to send me away to other authorities who can also take away more of my control if they decide to. But just to be clear, and to kind of relate back to what I was saying at the beginning of this video. This seems like one of those very complex type scenarios, and I'm not saying that managing this situation is as simple as just always let the patients or the clients or the person do what they want, because maybe that there are some circumstances when people do suffer from very poor mental health, that they do actually cause damage. And to be fair on these people, I have no idea what some of the experiences these GPs may have experienced. So maybe they have had patients who did arrive in the clinic some days, and maybe those patients said, "Oh, can I have a medical certificate?" And maybe they expressed extreme fatigue, and maybe they expressed that they were struggling I'm struggling with health, and maybe some people did go out and hurt people. But to repeat one of my comments, I do wish that in a better world, there are better processes to more accurately determine if a person is at risk of causing harm to themselves, or causing harm to the people around them. But that day, I was mistaken as this depressed monster that that was ready to hurt people, and apparently, they it seemed like they believed like I was this lonely person who lives alone, and has no family contacts, and all that stuff. So that was very much the experience and senses that I was receiving on that day. Very quick moving, very quick assumptions and judgments about me, which I did not like. I respectfully disagree with the concept of judgments, because I believe judgments can be, can have a high risk of being incorrect, because you don't really understand someone unless you've really made the great effort to learn about someone, and that could require years of effort and trust building and connection building. But these people have probably only spoken to me like once in a few months, and on this one day, just because by coincidence I was asking for help, and because I experienced extreme exhaustion, which I did not realize was really showing on my body and my face. And I did not notice until I arrived at that clinic that it seemed like I was having some breathing problems as well. So it was an almost traumatic experience for me, of broken trust, not giving me the safety to help me support my own needs, and disrupting a large amount of my, I'm disrupting a part of my day by having two ambulance, or two hospital workers transport me to the hospital in the ambulance, take my blood, take my body readings, and asking me various questions. So that experience has now encouraged me to never ask for the medical certificate again. So I believe that is quite the achievement, that a medical care system that should be helping people has created a situation where they made a mistake about their judgment about me, and now they have encouraged me to avoid them, because I do not have the trust and the safety that these people will actually support me when I ask for help. So this is one reason why I don't like this specific medical care system, with this specific one clinic that I did visit that day. And this is a problem, because if there are more people that have this experience, then that means that this kind of process creates more and more fear, and potentially, if more people have a similar experience to me, then more decline in trust, and people are less likely to ask for help, and maybe there are people who greatly struggle, who actually need help, but they've been actively actively discouraged from asking for help because they can't trust that the right people can help them at the right times for the right reasons in the right amount. So and to clarify, and to partially repeat what I said earlier, I'm not saying that I'm not saying all Australian medical clinics produce the same experience, and maybe many people have a great relationship with their GP, and that is okay. I just happen to have a very poor experience, and that could be from any number of reasons. Maybe I am neurodivergent, so that there are communication barriers, and maybe having a human psychology in a minority, maybe my brain type is just not very easily understood by psychiatrists, or maybe psychologists and psychiatrists are trained to understand and work with the majority of people, at the cost of understanding my minority of people, or maybe people are just motivated about money. So maybe medical clinics and maybe psychologists services want people to have problems, so that those people can come to these places with money to try and solve a problem that will never get solved. I don't know, but I believe it might be unhealthy to try and guess, like what the reason for these problems might be, with not enough evidence, and with too much creative infinite possibility. So it's so probably I can summarize this video, or this talk more easily now by saying that my personal experience may not be all people's experience, but my personal experience with this medical care system creates fear, creates a decline in trust, and reinforces the idea that I should be as independent as possible, because I cannot depend on these people for help, and when these people vaguely express helping me, maybe they have some other reason for helping me that doesn't align to what I am needing. So it is a very complex a very complex mess that that just hasn't helped me as much as I would have liked. And maybe one day in the future, these systems might improve. Maybe neurodivergence will be more trusted and more supported. And maybe there will be much better systems in place that help people communicate more easily, and help people to find mutual agreements. And even with the discussion that I had with the GP, after some weeks in the after some weeks after leaving the hospital, that GP, the way they communicated with me seems slightly odd too, because partly because when I asked the question, to help build safety and trust between me and this clinic, would it be helpful for me to visit more regularly? And the way they reacted with their facial expression, they seemed like they were about to laugh, like as if I was joking, or like I had said something funny. I don't understand why my question at that time would have been funny, or maybe to them, the idea of building safety and trust between people seems like a very foreign idea. I don't know, but the reaction that I observed seems a bit odd to me. And they seem like they were trying very hard to motivate me to come back to that clinic to see to have appointments with their GPs. But I am not very comfortable with that, because of my previous experience. So both so the combination of, I experienced one instance when, control was taken away from me, even for a short time, and the confirmation that there is no guarantee that, even if I try to build up, a number of appointments with these GPs in future, there is no guarantee that, this will prevent those people from choosing to send me to the hospital. Um, so and I feel confused about that, because my belief is, if a person like myself is willing to consume time with other people to share my mental health, and possibly describe my thinking process, and share parts about me, and like very openly and very honestly, to help give people the confidence that they understand me better as a person. Why would that, would like over time, why would a large number of the sessions not be considered as supporting evidence that I do not have some kind of dramatic mental health problem that requires me to be locked up in some hospital? So it seems like, they are still not really giving me much choice, and they are almost showing that they are scared of me, like they are afraid that I am some kind of monster. And as a neurodivergent person, I don't like that kind of interaction, because that does not inspire confidence. And that kind of interaction kind of suggests to me that, I am treated as some kind of disease that is potentially a threat to society, and I'm not treated as a human being that can experience challenges, that might just need some support, and that maybe I have a very different way of operating, compared to most people. So I don't sense much acceptance, from these people, and that makes me uncomfortable, because I am very comfortable with myself, including all my strengths, and all of my flaws. I do not believe I am perfect, but I am trying my best to understand, how my mind operates, and trying my best to understand what I need most to, function best, and I'm committed to help me function, and to help me live a happy and healthy life. But that would be much more difficult if I must engage with authorities who can decide without my consent to just take away my control, take away my future, and just do what they want with my body and my life. So, I don't like that sort of community, or I don't like that mindset of using authority in that way. But to reiterate, um, um, this is a very, I guess, complex situation, and to be also slightly fair on these GPs, may they do seem like they chose what they believed was the safest option. But in this specific instance, this decision to be safe, to avoid a potential hurt, somehow I'm resulted in an incorrect judgment, and now I don't trust these people as much, and and even at some moments during that day in the clinic, when I was sent to the hospital that day, it also seems like they were willing to lie to me, just to get me to leave the office, or that they were willing to lie to me, so that I could agree to be sent to the hospital. So I respectfully disagree with that kind of communication as well. I believe for me to make an informed decision, or for me to make a fair decision that respects both sides, I believe people should be more willing to take the risk, to trust that I will make a decision that will be mutually respectful. And this kind of interaction that I experienced, kind of discourages me from being that more mutually respectful person, because if these authorities cannot guarantee my safety, then they are more likely to push me into a more defensive mindset. And with the defensive mindset would encourage more fear, more lies, and things like that. And it is unfortunate that we live in a world when people have to lie and to be dishonest, and maybe engage in some kind of unethical activities just to protect themselves. I Ideally, this world should be consistently safe from all people. But this might also be like, this might also be or I mean, starting to refer to much bigger and much more complex problems. So it's so yes, so to kind of relate back to what I was describing about science, I I I am more likely to believe strong evidence, and the reason why I wanted to return to that topic was because I just want to friendly remind people that I do not consider myself perfect, and maybe my understanding and maybe my interpretation of these experiences might be incorrect. So if somebody can prove me wrong with explanations and with evidence, including anecdotal evidence that can be that is stronger than what I have explained, then I'm very curious, or I'm interested in listening. But for now, based on my experiences, based on my knowledge, um, this is how I have interpreted these experiences. Um, I do appreciate that I was discharged from the hospital so I could return home and return to working on myself and restoring my health. But the process was like a shock, or like a surprise, and reduced my trust in asking for help in these specific contexts. So um, it's oh and I was thinking, this reminds me of how parenting can fail as well. Imagine you are a child, and you have approached your parents to ask for help. Would you prefer your parents turn that a request for help completely upside down and say, okay, now and they take control away from you and say, okay, you are no longer allowed to experience that part of your life. You are completely banned. You must now follow my orders for how to be safe. Or would you prefer a more inspiring parent, that you approach and you ask for help, and they listen, they give you the opportunity to voice your preferences, and they give you a choice. And I am the type of person where I prefer to take responsibility for my actions, and I prefer to learn from my mistakes. So instead of authorities taking me away and controlling what I can and can't do, why can't people help educate me? What is the actual problem, or what is the actual concern, and what can they do to support me, to align with what they desire? Like that's kind of why can't this be a more like mutual working together to some kinds of mutual agreement? And maybe there are many people out there, maybe including people who might be stuck inside these hospitals. Maybe those people don't want to hurt people. Maybe they struggle with communication. Maybe they experience very intense emotions that they don't know how to organize easily, or things like that. And instead of taking control away from those people, why can't these psychiatrists, or these authorities, why can't we just find ways to, I guess, work with people more, and to help inspire like self-awareness and self-confidence, and help us learn to solve our problems. And this vaguely relates to what I observed in the medical clinic that day, that same day when I was sent to the hospital, that the GPs seemed very afraid to take responsibility for their decision about what happens to me. And I had absolute no intent to hurt people that day. My intent was to just return to my home as soon as possible, to eat some food and then sleep. And even after I described that to the GP, they seemed convinced that I was somehow at risk of hurting myself and hurting others. Even when I also briefly mentioned that I have been living alone for at least roughly 2 years, and I have been managing managing fine until that day. So why would these people decide suddenly that just because I experienced one difficult day, or one difficult time in my life, that they must panic and send me to some hospital? That seems like a very poor execution of trying to care, or a very poor execution to try and control the situation. But maybe this might also be a very complex a very complex problem to solve, because maybe some people have personality types that might be more leaning towards like serial killer. Then maybe in those instances, maybe the only option is to quickly send those people to the hospital. I don't know. But my experience, I really did not like, and it it really broke my trust with these people. And I no longer want to ask them for help. And if for any reason in future, if they decide to ask me for help, I am much less likely to agree to support them, because this is a simple reaction to people I don't trust. If I can't trust people to support me, then why should they trust me to support them? Like these kind of like, the trust is a two-way effort and two-way maintenance. And if two sides do not agree to support each other, then there's broken trust, broken loyalty, and all sorts of related problems. So yeah, so I'm almost like, I don't know if rant is the accurate word, but more just reflecting on my thoughts, and acknowledging there is this complex problem and complex experience that I do want to see improvement in the future. And I'd like to believe there will be a happier future, where people aren't acting so much from fear, and that neurodivergent people receive much more support. That would make me feel happier, if that will happen in the future. Maybe not in my lifetime. I don't know. Um, but yes. So I was talking about parenting, and then I kind of went on a related tangent. But to try and finish that story, or to try and finish that talk, my ideal parents, if I could choose them, are the parents where, if I approached them asking for help, they would listen to me, they would give me a choice, and they would communicate with me, and help to educate, or help me learn why they may have concerns about my decisions from their perspective. And but ultimately they let me have the final choice. And if I make a decision that may cause inconvenience for me, then I want to be encouraged to take responsibility for my actions, and to learn from my experiences. And and maybe for some people, especially neurodivergent people like me, maybe sometimes the only way for me to learn is through practice. Practice, applied knowledge, feedback loops. Maybe that is some of the only ways that I can learn, or that I learn best. So why deny me those valuable learning experiences? Because some people are too afraid of actions or behaviors that I may or may not undo. And this fear, I don't like the fear emotion. I believe fear holds us back, and fear 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 is the enemy of growth, and I support a growth mindset. I support the ideas of continuous improvement, continuous learning, and just generally just always trying to be a better version of myself. Sometimes I make mistakes, sometimes I fail, and that is okay. That is part of myself and part of my life experiences. And I would describe that maybe failures are even necessary in my life as stepping stones towards success, because I it is much more difficult for it is much more difficult for me to grow and learn as a person if I never take risks. If I choose to walk into the corner of my bedroom, curl up into a ball, and do nothing all day because I'm too scared, then I won't change much as a person. Like sure, it might prevent some problems, but it creates more it creates specific other problems, because there won't be change, there won't be improvements. So long story short, this does relate back to my experiences with this medical clinic, because this place seems to create a sense of fear and a sense of my safety will be compromised because the authorities just don't agree with me. And that sense of fear that they are giving me, and they probably have their own unresolved fears, and then that just creates a whole bunch of risk aversion, and power controlling, and various things that I believe can be very very unhelpful. But to clarify, I am not saying that we should be letting people go on unrestrained mass murdering. That is not what I want either. But this is a very complex system that seems to use a very generic blanket approach to try and control problems. But I don't know if the authorities realize that this generalized approach for the majority of people, maybe stopping one specific problem in a very specific way, but it also creates problems for the minority of people. And if they are willing to do that, why would they stop there? Why haven't the authorities gone on this rampage and just completely removed all minorities from this earth, and forced all people to behave in the same way that the authorities want. That seems like a massive invasion of freedom and things like that. So it's so this is likely a collectively very complex problem to solve. And again, I am not saying that I am some expert world problem solver, but I have enough awareness and enough understanding, and I guess I have enough communication skills to try to articulate what my thoughts about these things are. Um, and this is a very complex mess that is not perfect. It creates problems that I don't know if people are aware that these problems are being created. And ideally we would have better systems that have minimal problems, but maximum desired like results. Um, so yeah, this is just my thoughts about this topic. I do typically have these thoughts about various life experiences. This is just one of the life experiences, but I have these very complex, interconnected thoughts about these very complex experiences and very complex, um, yeah, just complex experiences, and I'm trying my best to communicate in a clear and unbiased way what the problems seem to be, what seems to be the impact of these problems, and that we should learn from these experiences to create a better future. I believe that might be one of my intents for working so hard on my communication skills, is that I like to learn from my experiences. I like to learn from my knowledge, and similar to great scientific principles, there is always the belief that my understanding or my knowledge at any point in time can be incorrect, but with scientific rigor, or with with enough production of consistent and reliable reliable evidence. If that evidence can prove me wrong, I welcome the explanations, and then I can update my knowledge, and I can update all of my assumptions and approaches to life based on this new knowledge. Um, but I won't be able to reach that point if no person who disagrees with me never challenges my current interpretations of my knowledge. Um, so I might be going on a slight a tangent again, but there are so many complex related topics that keep entering my mind as I speak, and as I talk about one thing, my mind finds a vaguely related enough topic to jump to as well. And I believe this is some anecdotal evidence that I have the ADHD mind, because my mind can just pattern jump very often like this, and I believe this can pattern jump infinitely, and this might explain why when I try to communicate, especially verbally, it seems to be an endless stream of words and thoughts, because that is how my mind operates. My mind always jumps from one thought to another, and my mind just never stops. Um, so I'm going on a tangent about the operation of my understanding of my neurodivergence. But yes, but some part of me, but yes. So I guess long story short, I don't like this one experience with this one Australian medical clinic, and relatedly, I don't like the psychology um, or I mean the psychologists experiences and interactions I have had previously in my life. And there are some similar reasons why, and I explained why I have a problem with these experiences, and I've tried to describe what I believe vaguely or vaguely through a vision, like what a better future might look like. Um, and there's probably not much more I want to say now. Um, so I will end this recording very soon. Um, but once again, thanks for listening.